So this is a little clip of the history of short film. So when film was first introduced, all films were short. However, the audience didn't know the difference. Film was first presented to an audience in 1894, which was through Thomas Edison's kinetoscope, which was one of the first films, which was like a one person per per go device, which can only be used by one person at a time, obviously. This then developed into projector films, which are based purely on celebrities, royal processions, travelogues, current affairs, and scenes from everyday life. One of the most famous films, which I've seen, is Arrival, which isn't actually called Arrival. It's called La Quinta, which was done by the Lumiere brothers in 1894, which is actually just a train going towards the screen. And because it was like one of the first films I've ever seen, everyone in the cinema freaked out. So in the first 1900s, recording and editing softwares started to improve. This started to allow filmmakers to make longer and more technological advanced films. One of the most well-known films of this era is A Trip to the Moon, which is done by George Méliès in 1902, where astronauts build a spaceship and met men on the moon. Also, a great train robbery, which was done by Edward Portes in 1903, was released, which was iconically known for being one of the first Western films of its kind. The 1910 came studio competition. Audience demand that filmmakers wanted to make even longer films. As a result, multi-reel and feature films were born. Feature-length multi-reader films first came from Italy, France, Denmark, and the United States. Traffic in Souls, which was George Tucker in 1913, which dealt with touchy subjects of white slavery and prostitution and really pushed film boundaries. Longer films were regarded as more respectable and drew in more middle class audiences and played at open houses compared to the fair. This put foundations to cinema for the next few decades. So while the main attraction of these brand new cinemas was obviously feature film, cinematography was really being successful, and short films continued to be shown alongside new reels and sometimes live acts. This was still the case up to and throughout the Second World War. Short films was even used as propaganda throughout World War II. The period between 1939 and 1945 was a momentous time for short film in Britain, even though it was perceived that not everybody liked them. They were also popular. They were also popularised by the government, which were keen to use them as propaganda message because so the audience was to listen to the short film. Some of the films were very popular, however, filmmakers and cinema owners were worried short film government films were not enough and the main star of the cinema, which feature films included. The famous Walt Disney created a famous German short film called Für Fiola's Face. This is an example of how they were used. So I'll just play a little clip of that if I can find it.
Verdammter Esel! Heil Hitler!
During the 1950s and 60s, many cinemas still showed short films. However, the audience started to find these incredibly dull and boring. In some cases, food was even thrown at the screen. Naturally, this motivated cinemas to change, meant that they started to add several more screening sessions into one evening and included more trailers and adverts. This meant the end of the short films at cinemas. By the end of the 60s, short films were practically gone from commercial cinemas, although short cartoons continued to be shown at the start of children's films until the late 80s. Even Pixar still incorporate that as well. 1981 saw the birth of MTV. This was influenced by ways short films have been used. For example, music videos have also represented an alternative representation of short films, and short filmmakers like Tim Pope directed videos from musicians diverse as The Cure, The Bangles, Neil Young. So he believes that music video created a new type of short filmmaking. He said that with a music video, the narrative follows the rhythm of the song, so there's much less freedom. I was always very careful not to impose my need to make movies on the video. Pope also believes that the rhythmic, fast-paced style of editing associated with music videos has led back into other types of filmmaking, including shorts, and that in its turn changed the way in which people consume and appreciate films. In the 80s, I used to get told off by MTV for cutting my videos too fast, but I think people these days can take a lot quicker. Music videos have definitely influenced the look of language of films making in general. The 90s was an important time for short film, and it was made thanks to the arrival of affordable and later digital recording equipment, which had easy access and was easy to use. This led to many different amateurs taking up on short film making, which generally cheaper and less demanding to make feature films. This was led to many high-profile short film directors to this day. For example, Martina Amita won a BAFTA this year for her short film, I Do Air. She began working with a video around this time and getting to the benefits of the digital technology. Or Philip Ilson was the director of London Short Film Festival, also began making and showing short films in the mid-90s. He reflects that all of a sudden it was cheap and easy to make films. It was also easy for films to be screened. It was the first time when affordable video projectors could be set up anywhere with a sheet on a. Since the early 90s, short film has made a huge full circle. This is mainly due to the advancements in technology, as it's a lot more easier and cheaper for anyone to pick up a camera and start shooting short films. However, global companies like Pixar have also started to feature an animated short film before some of their blockbuster films, which shows how they still have some meaning and how short films are starting to become more and more popular. It doesn't feel that they will drop out of fashion anytime soon. So yeah, that's the history of film and short film and how they sort of have gone parallel with each other throughout the years. Okay, yeah, so new post coming soon. Have a nice day, bye.